wasted. What a catch with a caramel center. What a catch and so much chocolate. Ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. First it's crispy, then it's creamy, with so much chocolate, smooth and milky. And when you go a little deeper, you find caramel. Ooh yeah, yeah, yeah. What a catch. Oh, 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 oh. What a catch. You know we love you. What a catch. Oh, 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 oh. First it's crispy, then it's creamy. What a catch.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these four boys dream of playing in the ISSA Schoolboy football competitions.
Will he score this for Casey? Will he score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield. And that's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son play finals for CVM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Score! My son score! My son score! My son score! My son score!
Greatness begins here.
His love for the sporting discipline that made him an outstanding student athlete came during his teenage years. He was, however, hell-bent on excelling in his chosen discipline despite the odds: water polo. This extraordinary individual is Darren Ray Donaldson.
My favorite sports were swimming and football. From a young age, I like to swim. I've been swimming since around like 2. My parents just already threw me in that sport, and from then on, it's just been from there. I've always been in the pool. It started from summer camp after prep school, where a coach, or one of the coaches actually from here, were doing like a water polo camp, and they teased me saying that I wasn't good. So from there, I was very competitive. Well, I still am very competitive, so I took that as to I want to be the best.
He was simply exciting to watch with an elegance that took him to the top. He was soon made captain of the Wolmer's High School boys team that won 3 consecutive ISSA championships.
Overall, it was really good. It was really fun. I was proud to represent my school. It was a good moment where we finally took that crown away from the previous winners.
His rapid progress gained him selection on the national team for several major championships. What was it like for him wearing the national colours on the global stage?
It was, if high school was hard work, representing the national team was hard work was the lifestyle. Every day wake up, train. Obviously you deal with the tertiary level education or work or whatever you have to deal with, but it's always hard work, dedication, and just focus on a particular goal that the coach set out for us.
The sport has been good to him since being a teenager, and the highs and lows have made him the person he is today.
There was a lot of, I won't say a lot, there were some downs, and you just have to work through it, but for the most part I'd say it's successful. If I could go back, I think I'd be even like more of an animal, more of a beast, because now I know, now I understand what it takes. I won't have those same nerves when I just got onto the international stage. Now I know that I have to do things this way, I have to train things this way. Now that I have
Welcome to Lead Story here on CVM Television. We're post-football, but we'll still be looking at football tonight as we go through the growing stories all around the world, the biggest stories that you need to know. And one of them is a growing backlash against FIFA. Fans in Europe and North America are urging FIFA to halt World Cup ticket sales, arguing that prices are extortionate. The dynamic pricing is pushing ordinary supporters out of the stands, and all of this comes as Jamaica is still on its campaign trail, hoping to qualify in March for a World Cup that will be held practically next door. So we're taking a look at what's driving the anger now. Thanks for staying with us inside Lead Story. A shorter version of the show today, thanks to ISSA Manning Cup football. But as we watch that, we're also watching the greatest show on earth, FIFA World Cup football, happening next year. And it will be happening right next door. Canada, the United States and Mexico will be hosting the World Cup. And to talk to us now about the pricing issues that have been clearly the bane of the existence of everyone, we're joined by the chairman of the Professional Football Limited, Chris Williams. Chris Williams, thanks so much for joining us.
No, I'm not the chairman. I'm not the chairman. I was the chairman. I resigned August 31st. So I assumed I was being invited as a football fan.
No, you're also invited as a football fan. Hold on. Let's clarify. Former chair of Professional Football Limited, but also as a football fan, one who's watching the discussions that's going on right now, as FIFA only a couple hours ago had to walk back pricing because of the global controversy. Talk to us in the context now as someone who is watching what's going on, who wants to go to the World Cup, potentially to see Jamaica show up in this global contest, but there's been a lot of drama around pricing. What are you hearing?
Well, I'm hearing the same thing. I applaud FIFA. I applaud FIFA because, the intensity and the drama that follows World Cup after World Cup, and how, the beautiful game continues to explode is really impressive. For a tournament and for a business model, it is really impressive. I think that, and I've been to a few World Cups. I think the reality is the demand that FIFA has generated by placing the World Cup in a population base of 300 million, and, access in terms of airlift that is unprecedented. It is just reflecting itself in the ticket prices.
Well, we'll talk about the drama coming out of that, and if everybody agrees with the applause that you're willing to give FIFA as to this dynamic pricing move. We'll take a break here in the Lead Story and come back to you.
Chris and Charles Merry Money Mania loan promotion. This Christmas, borrow big and win bigger. Get $1.5 million or $2 million in loans at special reduced rates, plus a chance to win your share of $1 million. And new customers get double entries. The promotion runs from October 15 and is now extended to January 30, 2026. Visit any Chris and Charles branch or chrisandcharles.com for details. Chris and Charles, making life merry again. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Here's another tip from Hawkeye to help you secure the season. During the holiday season, events, whether at work or with family, tend to bring together large groups of people, often in unfamiliar or open spaces. One smart way to keep things safe is by having Hawkeye trained security personnel on site. Our guards can help manage entry points, monitor for unusual activity, and assist in emergencies, all while maintaining a calm and welcoming environment. Even for smaller gatherings, having someone focused on safety allows hosts to enjoy the event without worrying about logistics or unexpected disruptions. It's a simple step that can make a big difference in ensuring everyone feels secure and protected. This has been your Secure the Season tip from Hawkeye.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Inside Lead Story here on CVM Television. We're continuing our discussion about the cost of football tickets as FIFA has now been in the middle of a global storm. That's because they have changed their ticket pricing according to how much you want the tickets for the matches. That's what's going on even as World Cup 2026 hasn't even started yet. We're not even in the year. Joining me is avid football fan and former chairman of the Professional Football Limited, Chris Williams. Chris Williams, the kudos and commendations you're willing to give FIFA is on the basis that the football competition is being held in the United States as one of the hosts, along with Canada and Mexico. 300 million people in the United States, massive amounts of fans in Canada and Mexico. But part of it is a global problem, with the global concern being raised that persons who are following their football teams to the United States, Canada or Mexico will be priced out.
No, there's two separate things. Let's start with just giving FIFA the commendations for packaging a tournament that is generating this level of demand. That's the first thing. I mean, you have to give them that. They've picked 3 host nations that have excellent infrastructure and excellent airlifts and so on. So access to the location is great, as opposed to Qatar and the last World Cup, where just flying to Qatar was so expensive, and so a lot of people just weren't interested or weren't able to afford the World Cup experience. Now with the location, that's the first thing. Then the local population is massive, again, as opposed to Qatar, where it's a very small local population. So those two areas, along with the fact that the World Cup is now 51 nations, has created this massive demand for.
We just had a break there in transmission as we're talking to Chris Williams, who's talking to us. Let's take a look, though, at what it is that we're talking about here, because we have some reporting that says everybody isn't as happy as Chris Williams about the new strategy that FIFA has put in place.
Soccer fans are getting angry about sky-high ticket prices for the 2026 World Cup. Football Supporters Europe, which represents fans, has demanded that FIFA immediately stop selling national team ticket allocations. The group says the sport's governing body is imposing, quote, incomprehensible ticket prices. FSE says a fan following their team all the way to the final would now have to pay at least $6,900, nearly 5 times more than the previous World Cup. Supporters will also have to pay everything up front in early 2026, just to secure the right to the tickets later. Ronan Evan is the head of FSE.
A lot of people that were hesitating in traveling to the US are now saying that they need to take an extraordinary financial risk, especially if you're a family. Because we are in the region of $30,000 for a family of 4. This is the vast majority of football fans can't afford this, even in Europe.
To make matters worse, the cheapest seats will not be available to these loyal traveling fans. FIFA is keeping those seats for the general public and will change their cost according to demand using so-called dynamic pricing. FSE calls this a huge betrayal of real soccer fans.
We believe this approach is putting the very nature of the tournament at risk, because you need fans, you need the life in the stands, you need the color, you need the atmosphere. And with tickets that are going up to above $4,000 for the final, none of this will happen.
FSE says it's also the first time that group stage games will not all cost the same. Instead, FIFA plans to charge different prices depending on the fixture's attractiveness. That means fans of different teams could pay different prices for the same ticket category and stage, with little pricing transparency. Ivan is urging FIFA to think again.
They need to pause and consult their member associations and consult the impacted parties, including fans. If they do this and look at how much people are actually ready to put to attend a game to the World Cup, they will realize that they need to decrease their ticket.
So this is the backdrop against which we're having this conversation. Jamaica making its way to the World Cup with our next step of qualifications in March to get us into it. But what does it mean for you to be able to go? Well, $6,900 per ticket, depending on who we play here or there, works out to about $1.1 million that you have to put into an account for FIFA in advance. All of it. Then that's only for one ticket. If you're going with a family of four, you're talking about $4.4 million. That doesn't include tickets. Rather, that doesn't include airfare, that doesn't include accommodations, and that doesn't include anything else that you want to do when you go to the United States. There's also a concern as well that Canada, the United States, and Mexico aren't getting along so well. You saw last week inside our global lead where Canada, the United States, and Mexico were on stage during the FIFA World Cup assessments. And you see on screen here what one fan online is talking about. It's $7,435 to apply for Scotland's 9 potential matches. This must all be paid in February. FIFA holds the money in an interest-bearing account until July, and then, well, you get it back, minus a 60% fee for the privilege of reserving non-existent tickets. That's because you are booking tickets all the way up through the qualifiers of the World Cup. That means that Scotland might not go as far as you're hoping, or they might go even further still. That might be the story for Jamaica. And if you play a big team, your ticket prices go up even more. We're rejoined by Chris Williams here inside Lead Story as we talk about this, because you are applauding them, Chris Williams, but for many people, they've had a very strong reaction saying they're afraid this happens now to all tournaments of this kind. Is this something that you see other tournaments moving toward?
And as I say, it's important for you to put the demand as the starting point. You can't compare it to any other. The demand for this particular World Cup is unprecedented. And I'm giving you the context because of the location and the access to the location. So it has resulted in a massive surge of demand. The pricing, reseller pricing mechanism that FIFA has been there before. It's not anything new. But because there's so much demand, people are bidding higher for the tickets, which is driving up the reseller price. So it is the demand. So where I think FIFA rightfully today said that they're going to have to revisit it is that they're going to have to put a cap on the reseller pricing, and they're going to have to know, in order to prevent scalpers from buying up the tickets, they're going to have to put all these conditionalities in place, such as putting your money into an account, etc., etc. Because what you're trying to do now is prevent scalpers from buying up the tickets and then reselling them at a higher price. So it's unprecedented. It's unprecedented, and that's why I said I start off by giving them kudos, because they structured a massive win for football. And remember, the money, the profit, goes right back into the sport. So if Jamaica qualifies, the participation fee is expected to be very significant because of how profitable this World Cup is looking like it's going to be.
There are also concerns, Chris Williams, though, that this is not going to be as profitable a World Cup. A Club World Cup had empty stadiums, even though Chelsea won. And President of the United States, Donald Trump, was on the pitch with them as they took their pictures. ISSA and Homeland Security in the United States already being a reason that football fans say that they won't be able to go. Haiti being one of those countries and others that will not be permitted to have fans there on the ground. All of these issues compound to make the United States one of the 3 host nations not as desirable for people to go to at this time. Is that something that you would expect to be impacting ticket sales?
No, nowhere close. Again, because just people on the ground already in the United States is so large. 300 million in the home population. And the access to the various stadiums and so on is so good and so convenient that people will be able to move around and get to the various matches, even if they have to drive from one location to the other. So no, that's not going to be an issue. FIFA has done a great job in driving unprecedented demand, and what we have to do now is put pressure on them to cap the reseller prices. And that's what they're trying to do by putting in place all of these optionalities for us to be able to get tickets without having to go through a reseller.
Christopher Williams, unfair question before we go. Jamaica is looking to get to the World Cup in March. Do we make it? Yes or no? Yes or no, Chris?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
You have no idea. All right.
I know football, the ball round.
The ball is round, so that means there are opportunities for all sorts of things.
My support is 150% behind whomever is on the field wearing our colors, because we are Jamaicans and we support Jamaicans, so I'm rooting for them 150%.
Looking forward then to see if they make us happy in March and if we have to have this ticket conversation more personally. Thanks so much for joining us, Christopher Williams.
Every day starts with care. Care that's always close. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is where you go for everything you need. From your morning routine to life's biggest moments. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is always by your side. Whether it's prescriptions or household essentials, trust the care that's close to home. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
Double the holiday cheer with Frigidaire. Christmas is a time for sharing with family and friends. And this Christmas, Singer gives you a chance to double the holiday cheer with Frigidaire. Buy any Frigidaire item from Singer, valued $30,000 or more plus GCT from December 6th to January 10, and get a chance to be one of 6 winners to share $500,000 in prizes. Upgrade your kitchen with our main prizes of a 5-burner stainless steel stove or a side-by-side refrigerator, or get one of the consolation prizes of a freezer or microwave. Shop now. Conditions apply. See the price for details. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting Game and Lotteries Act.
We want a piece for Jamaica. Yo, what are you?
Oh man, no, brother, no, man.
You see you ever play ref? No, the game, no play.
Yeah, but a bad game. No, I said, place when you come from, brother, I want to live good, man. I want to live good, Bridging. No shake on, I can play a little ball, Bridging.
Really have to shake on?
Yeah, man, and no badness, Bridging. Just live good, man.
That's it. Come together as one and make the violence done.
Visit VC's Electrical Sales today at 21 Mannings Hill Road, Kingston 8. Come see why VC's Electrical Sales is your go-to for quality electrical supplies at great prices. Check our website to see a sample of our products or call us for the full inventory at 876-622-9800. VC's Electrical Sales, also known as VC's Electrical Depot.
From global football to now the global current, we're taking you across the world for the top international stories you need to know tonight and why they matter. Our first story is from Australia, as 15 people have now been killed in a mass shooting on Bondi Beach in Australia, a place known more for leisure than horrific acts like these. We'll take a break as we look to see what has taken place there in that country.
Suspects has been hailed as a hero. The video shows Syrian-born Ahmed Al-Ahmed creeping up behind the shooter and seizing his rifle. This fruit vendor suffered gunshot wounds during the encounter. The state's premier, Chris Minns, described the act as unbelievable, saying that it saved countless lives. A fundraising page for him has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars already. His parents say that they are very proud of him.
My son is a hero. He served with the police and he has the impulse to protect people. When he saw these people on the ground covered in blood, his conscience and morals compelled him to attack one of the terrorists and take away his weapon, and the terrorist ran away. At the same moment, the armed man's partner was standing on a bridge and he tried to kill him and shot my son in his shoulder. I'm so proud of my son because he is a hero all around Australia, and there isn't a news agency that hasn't shown the heroic work that he did. Even President Trump thanked him for his actions. The Australian Prime Minister wrote that he is a brave and heroic man and wished him a speedy recovery. He is a man who was ready to sacrifice his life to save others.
I don't know all the details. They told me he was involved in an incident and he was in hospital. You know how a mother feels when she hears that her son's involved in an incident. Then when I knew the details, I became very proud that my son was helping people and saving lives. Thank God bullets hit him only in the hand and shoulder. Allah will not hurt him because he was doing good.
And that's a big story coming out of Australia there. 15 killed as a brave man intervened. His parents, they're talking about the moment that they found out that he had not only intervened, but that he'd also been injured. But for Australia, this is big news because this is a country with very, very strict gun laws. And so it has once again reignited discussions about what it means to keep their country safe. Turning back now to Jamaica and us being amazing on the world stage. In a major moment for Jamaica, Minister with responsibility for water, environment and climate change, Matthew Samuda, has been elected President of the United Nations Environment Assembly, the world's highest decision-making body on environmental issues. Well, UNEA sets the global environmental agenda, guides the work of the UN Environment Programme, UNEP, and shapes how the world responds to climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. Well, we are seeing Matthew Samuda be named president at this year's UNEA 7, held in Nairobi, focused on advancing sustainable solutions for a resilient planet.
We shall first take up the election of the President of the Assembly for its 8th session. In this regard, the Secretariat has been informed that the group of Latin America and Caribbean states has endorsed the candidature of His Excellency Matthew Samuda, Minister of Water, Environment and Climate of Jamaica, as the President of the 8th session of the Assembly. May I take it that the Assembly wishes to elect His Excellency Matthew Samuda, Minister of Water, Environment and Climate of Jamaica, by acclamation as the President of the 8th session of the Environment Assembly. Hearing no objection, it is so decided.
Colleagues, I am deeply honored and profoundly grateful for the trust you have placed in me by electing me President for the United Nations Environment Assembly 8th meeting. I extend my heartfelt thanks to each member state for this vote of confidence, and I accept this responsibility with humility, determination, and a clear sense of purpose.
A clear sense of purpose is what Matthew Samuda, our Minister of Environment here, is now indicating he will be taking charge of the UNEA for the next 2 years to do. They'll be having their 8th session of this global body, and after Hurricane Melissa, it can't be more important for small island developing states like Jamaica to be put on the map. You heard there the group of Latin American and Caribbean states had been the ones that put him forward with GRULAC, that's their acronym, that's what they're called, indicating that out of all of the states on this side of the world, they chose Matthew Samuda from Jamaica. So that's big news for us here, and especially as we are being more and more impacted by climate occurrences. Hurricane Beryl last year, Hurricane Melissa this year, drought, things affecting our farmers. This is something that will be more and more important for us to be on top of and to have our voices heard. When a small island like ours takes control, it's not just pretty, it's strategic. And making sure that we have our voices heard is going to be incredibly important for the years to come. Final story for us today as we take you through the top 3 big stories you need to pay attention to. Football icon Lionel Messi had a tour of India, and well, it didn't go so well. Unfortunately, the tour of India had been marred by chaos, with fans throwing bottles and the stadium being vandalized. The incident underscores the scale and sometimes the volatility of global sports fandoms, and particularly when everything not organized and security and planning fails to keep pace with public expectations. Let's take a look at this clip and the anger being experienced by football fans in Kolkata, India.
All smiles, he's basking in all the glory.
This was the moment football fans in Kolkata were waiting for. Lionel Messi making an appearance at the city's Salt Lake Stadium. Thousands had queued for hours to get a glimpse of their hero in the flesh.
Tears of joy!
But a glimpse is all it turned out to be. Flanked by a large entourage, most fans could barely see Argentina's World Cup winner, and he left after only 20 minutes. That didn't go down well with some of the supporters who showed their frustration.
We couldn't even see him, we couldn't even get a glimpse of him. So why was this scripted? I don't know. Why weren't the police taking action? I don't know anything. Everyone was furious. It was a total scam. We want our money back, to be honest. The management was so bad. It is a black day for Kolkata.
Kolkata is the capital of West Bengal, which has a large football fan base in a country dominated by cricket. Fans had paid up to $150 to see Messi, with one couple even cancelling their honeymoon to attend.
There's a large number of fans who support Argentina, who supported Argentina right from the days of Diego Maradona. And Messi was always seen as the rightful heir to Maradona. Anyone who didn't expect a big crowd was fooling themselves. And if such a huge crowd was there, and then
And so what you're seeing there is irate fans in India looking to see Lionel Messi, and he was seen for a glimmer of time. Distressing news, but certainly highlighting to us that as we move into a World Cup year, as we move into even the Olympics, that having security at major global events is critical. Those are the top global stories tonight. And a reminder, at 8 p.m., we have more Lead Story, but this time Lead Story Prime, where we'll be breaking down the JPS loan, what it means for government spending, and what it could mean for your light bill. I'm Jody Ann Quarry. Thank you for watching. Good evening.